Tales from the Americas. The Deer and the Jaguar Share a House. From Brazil. One day a deer was wandering along a riverbank, and he said, "I have lived a hard life, wandering here and there, never having a house of my own. I would love to have a house, and where would I ever find a better place than here? This is where I will build." And he went away. A jaguar also said one day, "My life is full of trouble and cares. I shall look for a place to build a house, and I shall settle down comfortably." He went out to find a place, and he came to the same spot that the deer had chosen. When he saw it, he exclaimed, "Wherever would I find a better spot for a house than this? Here is where I will live." And he went away, making plans to return. The deer came back the following day to begin work on his house. It was great labor, but he cleared the ground of brush and trees and made it smooth and clean. Then he left, to return when he could. The next day the jaguar began to work on his house, and he saw that the ground had already been cleared. "Ah," he said, "the god Tupan is helping me with my work. What great fortune!" So he went to work on the floor of the house, and when the floor was finished, it was nearly night, and the jaguar went away. The following morning the deer came and saw the floor was completed. He said, "Ah, the god Tupan is helping me build my house. What good luck!" And he built the walls of the house and returned to the forest. The next day the jaguar came again and saw the walls finished. "Thank you, Tupan," he said, and he put on the roof. Then he went back to the forest. When the deer came back, he found the roof was finished. He said, "Thank you, Tupan, for all your help." And in gratitude to the god Tupan, the deer made 2 rooms in his house, one for Tupan and one for himself. Then he entered one of the rooms and went to sleep. That night the jaguar came once more. He went into the empty room to sleep, thinking he was sharing the house with Tupan, who had helped him build. In the morning the deer and the jaguar got up at the same time. The jaguar asked in surprise, "Is it you who helped me build?" The deer said, "Yes." "Is it you who helped me build?" The jaguar said, "Yes. Since we have built this house together, let us share it." The deer agreed, and they lived together, one in one room, the other in the other room. One day the jaguar said, "I'm going out hunting. I will bring food, so get everything ready, the pots, the water, and the wood for a fire." He went out in the forest, while the deer prepared for the cooking. The jaguar killed a deer in the forest and brought it back. When the deer who was sharing the house saw what the food was, he became very sad. The jaguar cooked the food, but the deer wouldn't eat it. After the jaguar had his supper, they went to bed. But the deer was thinking with horror about the jaguar's diet, and he couldn't sleep. He feared that the jaguar would come in the night and eat him also. In the morning the deer said to the jaguar, "Get the pots and the water and the wood ready. I am going hunting." He went out in the forest, and he saw another jaguar there sharpening his claws on the bark of a tree. The deer went on until he found an anteater, known as a tamandua. He said to the tamandua, "The jaguar over there has been saying evil things about you." When the tamandua heard this, he became angry. He went to the jaguar, and, creeping up silently behind him, seized him and killed him. Then he went away. The deer took the carcass of the jaguar and carried it home. The pots and the water and the wood were ready, but when the jaguar with whom he was living saw the deer he brought, he lost his appetite. Though the deer cooked the food, the jaguar couldn't eat a thing. That night, neither the deer nor the jaguar could sleep. The jaguar feared that the deer might come for jaguar meat, and the deer feared that the jaguar would come for deer meat. They lay silently awake as hours passed. When it was very late, they began to nod. In spite of his nervousness, the jaguar's eyes began to close a little, and so did the deer's. Suddenly the deer's eyes closed completely for a moment, and his head nodded. As he nodded, his antlers hit the wall with a loud noise. When the jaguar heard the noise, he awoke in fright, thinking the deer was coming after him, and he screamed. When the deer heard the scream, he was terrified, thinking the jaguar was coming to get him. Both animals leapt to their feet and fled from the house into the forest, one going in one direction and one in another. And since that time, the jaguar and the deer have never lived together.